welcome?
Sure, I'll do the welcome. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
Hey, there we are. I didn't see an Are You Ready? Or I don't know if we're going to get an Are You Ready.
We might be on.
'Cause we could be on. And if we're on, which it is 5:31, so let's assume we're on. And we'll say, hey, the games are about to start. Welcome to the 2023 USA Curling Club Nationals from the Wausau Curling Center here in the heart of Wisconsin, Wausau, Wisconsin. 12 men's teams, 12 women's teams have earned the right to be here. And tonight, draw one are the men's teams, and all 12 are on the ice. Our featured sheet is sheet D with Justin McBride and his team from the Hollywood Curling Club versus the Elliott Mansell team out of the Denver Curling Club, a former winner of this event. So number 2 and 3 ranked teams, peer seeding. Should be a good matchup tonight, Chuck.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm expecting some very good curling tonight and all weekend on both sides of the draw, men and women.
I mean, this is really what grassroots curling is all about, right, at the club level. Get out and compete. All right. What do you like for the first shot, Chuck?
I think it already came. Oh, it's right on the button, I believe. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong sheet live from what's on TV.
No. Looks like that one's going through the house on the first draw. So we're very fast ice here. Sean Olson, the head ice tech for USA Curling, and his crew have been working their magic. And so very fast. And USCA stones in play. And they were textured just before the event.
So we're looking for fast ice, curling ice, consistent ice. We should see some great shots made.
Definitely. It's always good to have some curl in that ice, and so you can get in and bury a rock, right?
That is correct. So it looks like the McBride rink is throwing the red stones and the Mansell rink the yellow stones. I did not see you through the first stone, so I'm not sure who has hammer and won the last shot draw.
Well, yeah, they each have one in the corral. I think red through first.
I believe so, according to the down there.
So we want to welcome everyone actually who's watching on the live stream. We have about 60 people watching, which is fantastic. This stream is brought to you by the Ron and Jan Klimisch Charitable Fund, and we greatly appreciate the sponsorship of this ability to stream out to the world.
Our plan is to stream a feature game from each draw, from each event through Sunday afternoon finals.
Yeah, and you can see that schedule right on the Wausau Curling Facebook page. So if you're out there and you are from another club that's not Denver or Hollywood, and you have a team in the game, share it with your club. That actually answered Kyle Atkinson's questions. Although, no, it didn't. Kyle wants to know about live scoring. And Curling Zone will have live scoring updates. Oh, we got some rowdy crowd members around.
We are live.
Also in action, if anyone's watching from the Wausau area, is our home club, the Cucciarelli Rink. And we have a good view of them, so we can give some updates of that game as well as any other game out on the sheet. We tried to set up the stream so that we get as many unique matchups as possible, but we could not obviously cover every team. But we're going to do our best to keep those up to date on all action across all sheets.
Looks like the Mansell house has a stone in the house. Top of the 4 foot or just off the 4 foot.
Yeah, it looks like it's solid 8.
And a corner guard for the McBride rink. I'm interested to see how this plays out. Is this going to be more of a club style game or more of a competitive style game? I think these players have the skill sets to play a very competitive game, And with the ice conditions in the stones, I think we're going to see a high level of curling.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chuck. I don't think we're going to see a lot of rocks in play, at least not early. I think you're going to see low scoring, tight games, especially in this one that we're covering.
So this is the second zone for the Mansell rink. Simon Jarrett, I believe.
You know, I don't know how maybe somebody who's watching can knows the answer to this, but I know, you know, the Justin McBride rink, you know, they're out in Hollywood. I think he might be also a member of Orange County. But, you know, those were, I know Hollywood had dedicated ice and unfortunately lost it this past summer. But, you know, before that, both of those clubs were arena clubs. And to see, you know, an arena club at in Club Nationals, I think is fantastic. Hopefully we see more of that as the years go on. I don't know what his makeup of his team is, I guess was what I was going for. And if they were all together out in the arena setting, or if some of them just came in from other clubs.
The Mansell rink looks like they missed a takeout in the, the Bride rink and the Mansell rink looks like they're going to split the house and play behind the corner guard.
Missed a takeout, huh?
Well, but they've been learning the ice. They've had practice time, and each before the game in a session this morning on the ice. I don't know if they got to play with all sheets of stones and not all sheets during that practice time, but they've been on the ice.
They did rotate.
Both they did good on each sheet. Okay.
Yeah, not only split, but behind cover, too.
And McBride rink successfully took that stone out, and looks like they're sitting second count.
We are getting, at least during practice, we had about 7 feet of curl, so expect that to continue for a while.
Throwing thirds for the Mansell rink is Aaron Johnston, a Wisconsin native, I believe. Import to the Denver area. I think he's been out there for a while.
You know, check this Elliott rink, or Mansell rink, excuse me. Hold on. Let me check my notes. Make sure I'm not going to say something that I don't want to say.
It won't be the first. Or, excuse me, the last. It might be the first.
It might be the first, and hopefully not the last. Yeah, Potomac 2020. The infamous Club Nationals in 2020 in Potomac. That rink won the Club Nationals that year. So a very strong rink, and they're returning 3 of those starters back. So
That'll be one to watch out the rest of the week here.
yeah, definitely.
Would not be surprised to see that team on Sunday morning.
I see. Clark used to be a Nashua. That's up in New Hampshire.
Yep, Nate Clark was in the junior 2012 in Madison curling.
Okay.
Remember him curling there.
And then he also was Broomstones as well as McKellips. We have a Team Tate watcher. That's Kyle.
Got a piece of the Yellowstone, just ticked it over, still behind the guard. The way Steve is describing the ice with tap weight, the guard is probably long enough that it could be removed, or at least bumped back.
They are playing the trial no tick rule.
The no tick rule on the center line.
Yes.
I did not know that rule was going to be in play for this event. I'm sure there's mixed feelings on that rule. If you guys want to put in the comments, you can argue it out among yourself. I'm not sure if Steve and I are going to chime in a whole lot on that rule.
I'm pretty sure our club curlers never play that rule, so.
Our club coolers do not play that rule. Only really comes into play for that upper level of curling, and they're saying these guys are there.
Well, it looks to me like Mansell setting up the deuce pretty.
Yeah, with this broom, I don't think there's a take or a roll behind cover to count. First stand, they're probably not going to try anything fancy. Surrender the deuce and go on to fight for 7 more ends. This event is an 8-end event.
Correct, with a break after 4. Used to be 10, but a few years back they switched it to 8.
That's for the TV audience. So hope you all out there appreciate that.
You only need to listen to us for 8 ends. So Todd, is it the French pronunciation, Hébert, or is it Hebert? They play the no-tick fabric rule on their Tuesday signature competitive league. And that's at Broomstones. How's I think Greg Eisenhower, he's the ice tech at Broomstones. How's Greg Eisenhower doing out there? Or no, is it Ostheimer? And Greg's at the country club. I forget. Can we stream other teams besides the one being showed? No, but we can give you updates.
We can give you updates, and we may at some point, if there's an interesting house, we may be able to show you the view of the house. We have an update on sheet F, the Cucciarelli rink and the Tate rink from Coyotes put up a blank.
That's a good start for both.
That way they're learning the ice. And I will check on my phone here in 5-10 minutes to see if these updates are getting done in real time on Curling Zone.
Oh, poor Todd's got name controversy. Go with what you like. So you can see in our overhead shots, you'll see a little graphic that we had made for our club actually 3 years ago now. And that's the Wausau Curling Club 100th anniversary. So we're pretty proud of that. And unfortunately, our 100th anniversary came during COVID, and we were one of the clubs that were shut down during that period of time, like half the country. But we celebrated after the following year when we came back. Your children prefer the French version. Hey, Bear, I would too. I think that's the best way. So for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, if you're following along on, you want to hop on the chat. Oh, there's a hi, Dad, from Tricia.
That's my lovely daughter Tricia from the Eau Claire Curling Club.
So they must be rooting for
her husband.
Team Ward.
Curls with the Team Ward a number of times.
All right, so back second in.
I didn't see the draw shot come in, but I'm making the assumption they scored the 2.
And McBride's
Yeah, they have.
just going to ignore that rock.
They have marked
Set
the
up
2.
his corner guard.
I believe each team started with 30 minutes of thinking time for their 8 ends, and they are allowed 1 timeout throughout the whole game.
Oh, Sue Cassidy's hopping on. Good luck, Team McBride. I expect Sue to have some kind of big watch party going on with lots of beverages and cats and dogs, all kinds of stuff.
Mansell Rink setting up another end here with a couple stones in the house. Looks like they're going to go after them now.
Ostheimer's Broomstones and Eisenhower's TCC, yep. Great ice techs and great guys, too. Okay, so they peeled the top one off.
On sheet E, it looks like Turner scored 1 against Drews. And we also had a blank on sheet A. That's the game between Ward out of Eau Claire and Farblow out of St. Paul. Another good game.
Farblow is the #1 ranked team coming into this. They were peer ranked, so it's not a perfect science, but you know, when peers rank each other, usually comes out somewhat close.
In sheet B, the team out of Fairbanks, Alaska scored 1 against the team out of North Dakota. Maybe I had that wrong. Take that back. The Alaska team had 1 scored on them.
So we're up to 115 on the stream now, Chuck, so don't make mistakes, okay?
First and definitely not going to be the last.
Uh-oh, we just dropped 2. Is Curling Zone updating yet?
They have the line scores up. At this point, I do not see scores for the first end up yet.
Okay.
They just happened, so.
We'll have more accurate scores in Curling Zone. Did you say Team Johnson was down after the first end? Fairbanks?
Sheet B, the Red Rocks have scored 1 point, and that would be the North Dakota team.
Gotcha. Legacy. Yeah, I mean, you look across the 6 sheets here in play. We have an 8-sheet facility, and we're using 6 of our sheets. And just like we predicted, low scoring. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 blanks.
The 2 in our feature game is the lone multiple score end.
Well, they haven't posted that yet. I don't. Oh, there it is. Yep. Yep. Don't make many mistakes there, Chuck. Right. So those need to be updated.
Yes.
So anyone tuning in right now and seeing a 0-0 score. We're in the second end, and it's not 0-0. It is 2-0 yellow. Now our graphics guys are scrambling. And yeah, we have graphics guys. So Sue Cassidy's bringing up a question. How did Sean Franey end up on the other team? He curled with Justin for many events, and he started out in Orange County. But I don't know that answer, but I do know he did play with Elliot Mansell back in 2020 when they won.
So it's not his first go-around with the team.
Not his first rodeo.
Looks like we may have an open house here. There is one red guard short of the house that they may be able to play around to draw some action. And that stone will remain out in the open.
Yeah. Let's see where he put the broom down.
Yeah, I was going to kind of try to keep track of how shots were
Are they tracking?
tracking. Looks like the Mansell rink, though, is going to try to hit and roll behind that guard.
I think that'd be a pretty smart play.
I think they'd be more than happy to generate a steal.
I don't know if it's just me or because it's the first time we're doing this, but the almost the end of the second end seems to be going fast.
It's those old fashions you had at the bar before you got out here.
You brought them.
For our nationwide viewers, an old fashioned is a very common drink in most all of Wisconsin. Made slightly differently than you see elsewhere around the country.
First of all, no one outside of Wisconsin even knows what brandy is.
If you're in central Wisconsin, come on down and watch. There's a draw going on now, which you can still catch. And then there'll be another draw of the ladies. First draw at 9 o'clock this evening. And 6 draws tomorrow or 4 draws tomorrow? 4 draws tomorrow.
4 tomorrow, 4
8,
Saturday.
8, 12, 4, and 8. And then 4 on Saturday.
Same times. And it's open to the public. You can come on down. It's $5 for basically the whole day would get you in, or $15 for the whole event.
Super comfortable viewing, stadium seating. Can see multiple sheets at one point. Very nice club room where you could view from there also.
How does ice compare to quote-unquote normal conditions? So, Doug, do you mean normal conditions for us curlers and leagues here in Wausau? Like I said, Sean Olson's out there. Our ice typically is fast. I'll say that. It has been since we built the new facility back in 2012. We don't have frost issues really. So I'm sure it's still faster than we're accustomed to.
Traditionally, we had been known for straight ice, and we've been working on that, getting much better curl. Inserts were put in our stone before the 2022 season, and that helped that out quite a bit. From the little bit I'm watching, um, not noticing any major differences. My assumption is that things are very consistent out there. Things that you don't notice as a spectator, but as a skipper playing the game, you would notice that stones are running very similar, different parts of the sheet and in different directions.
So Justin with the hammer. He's pounding it pretty hard. Hit and roll out.
All right, successful blank at the end. McBride will carry the hammer into the third end. Little excitement as sheet F, as I think the host team
I don't know, did
has
they
scored.
double something out?
It may have been a double something out to blank the end. They were very happy with their last shot.
Well, no, so the last shot was Coyotes, and they hit and rolled out for a blank. But Cooch did something, and I don't know if it was a double, but it got the crowd going.
But the Coyotes have a point marked up on sheet F.
Well, it looked to me like they just threw the last shot, so I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah. Starting the third end. Team Mansell's lead, Cameron Cabrera, throwing up a guard. Nope, in the house. They've been pretty consistent with the in the house first shot, haven't they? Am I missing something?
No, they've been coming in the house and opening shot, I believe. Looks like. And it looks like they're going to throw up a corner guard. So, kind of a
replay.
Standard opening. As the week goes on, I'm sure teams will loosen up and feel more comfortable doing more things.
Curling Zone hasn't posted any scores yet.
I just noticed that myself also. We do not personally know at the facility who is responsible for that, but understanding there is someone here who has that as a duty.
Let's see. So what I can throw these in the chat. I'll just throw in the. I don't know what the easy way to do that is.
Well, the Eau Claire St. Paul blanked in sheet or in N2. Oh, no, they did not. Red scored 1. As a club, clearly, we don't have that many blanks, so even in our home club, it's sometimes odd to see where they marked up a blank.
Yeah, they're not standardizing their where they're hanging them.
Yeah. We have some blanks being marked on the blank peg and some marks being marked over the center score.
Well, we got a end going here. see enough of that red one to come around, tap it out. Nope.
I thought maybe it was a draw shot.
We should have set that.
I did not see him make the call, so I did not want to be so bold.
I didn't either. But then I saw how slow he was.
He's going to take the top one, it looks like, and maybe run back and see what he can get out. At least open it up.
Sweeping hard on this one. What's that? Yeah. They're pounding this one.
Looks like we got a couple of Yellowstones out of the house. I don't know if the plan was to take that guard out, but they have got that done successfully. And it looks like they're going to run the red back onto the yellow.
If they're successful and get a good roll, that'll be. Is it going to stay? No.
I'm not sure if this is going to show up in a right. Nope, it's off the ice, off the house. Okay. There is a guard out in front of the house, so if someone can roll behind that or draw behind it, they could generate points for the end, or a multi-point end.
I have to say that the Mansell rink is really sporting the mustache game pretty well.
They do. All right, they've got the hit and the roll, but this time it's going to roll off the house. Assume he's going to try to draw behind. Or split them on. Oh. Okay. Yeah, he's placing that broom. We got pretty good curl on the ice.
Yeah, definitely. You didn't bring your stopwatch, Chuck. You could time this rock.
Steve, I'm an instinctive curler. You can tell me 7.2 or 14.2, hog to tee, tee to hog to hog, and those numbers are not going to mean a whole lot to me.
Well, me neither. I also throw by feel for the most part, but I do understand that timing is a tool, and it can be a valuable one.
I love curling and sweeping with a good timer on my team.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I think the combination works great. Sometimes I'm telling them to put down the watch and start sweeping, and other times I don't get a good read out of hand, and they're telling me where that stone's going to end up by their clock, and it ends up right where they tell me.
So sheet C, let's give an update on sheet C. Ritkers and Smith, it is 1-1. And the far below game, sheet A, they're in the way right now. It's at least, I think it's one red. I think they blanked the first. Second end.
That was the far below team.
Yeah, second end, Ward scored 1.
Oh, yes.
If we want to keep going, we could do sheet B, Legacy versus Johnson. That is 1-1. Sheet E, Drews versus Turner. That is 1 yellow. Red blank the second. And the hometown team of Cucciarelli versus Tate from Coyotes. Blank the first end, and red, which would be Tate, scored 1 in the second.
Going to get the stone into play.
And obviously we're coming up on Skip's rocks on all of these games, so we could have another update shortly.
McBride rink is sitting. Oh, they're kicking that stone back off. I thought that stone was off the house, and that was back on, and they just kicked it back off the house.
I missed what happened.
A moment ago, that was back on the house.
I guess you can kick rocks off the house.
I'm assuming it was bumped to get back onto the house. I was wondering how the McBride rink had ended up with 2 stones back on the house. I thought they were just the lone red stone nibbling the top of the button.
Jan, you're welcome for the score updates, and Merlin will give you the updates as soon as we see them happen.
Little exchange of stones in the 4-foot. I think he's putting the broom down.
You think he wants to take 1, or you think he wants to blank? Carry it over to the next end.
Well, this is club clearing. They might take the stone, but I think they're going to take the point. But I think he's going to try to blank it.
Yeah, I would say blank it.
I think he's going to roll it out.
So Justin with his hammer.
Looks like he is going to roll out.
Yep, perfect.
And McBride will retain the red into the 4th end, an even end.
He'll also retain the hammer. That's where I would do my my little drum thing. Boom, boom, but I won't do that to you. Because then it'll come back in spades at me.
From our vantage point here at the Wausau Curling Club, our best view is of the Wausau versus the Coyotes game, and it looks like the team from Arizona is sitting 2, and they may have scored their 2.
Yeah, Tim crashed on the guard, unfortunately, and
I believe they scored at least 2. We'll see what they mark. They are going to score 3 in the third and come out to a 4-0 lead over the Cucciarelli rink out of Wausau.
Sheet E, let's go backwards. Sheet E, Drews versus Turner. Looks like Drews is now up 2-1 over Turner. Sheet C, they blanked the third end, so it's still 1-1. Ritkers versus Shoesmith. Sheet B, Lagasse scored 2 in the third end to make it 3-1 over Johnson. And on sheet A, Ward versus Farbelow. Farbelow came back and scored 1. Is now tied up 1-1. After 3.
Lead stones here in the fourth end in our future game.
There you get a good shot of our curling center. Wide angle, I guess.
I think the call for the Mansell rink was to draw into the house behind the guards. I think this stone may be over curling if that was the call.
.147 now watching us, Chuck. That's a great number. Good to see.
Thursday night, people come home from work, watch some curling.
Probably taking the day off tomorrow because it's St. Patrick's Day. They'll be watching more curling, obviously.
Green beef and green beer and corned beef.
Oh boy. Yeah.
All right, the McBride rink has got a second stone in the house.
I think that was a dig at my Irish roots. Green beef.
O'Keefe. I think Steve made a trip to Ireland this summer.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was magical, really, is how I would describe it, for sure. And I remember when you were happy to find out you were Scottish. So we're Celtic buddies, really. And none of us have red hair.
Did you find any relatives?
No, but I did visit the O'Keefe Castle. Do you have a castle?
No castle.
Well,
no
we
castle.
do, and of course those English pretty much killed everyone in it back in 1650. Cornwall and his buddies came over and pushed us out.
I'm glad someone survived to have you here with me, Steve.
Me too. Me too.
Give Steve credit. He drove over there. left-hand drive.
Yes. With a stick. If anyone's done that, let me know in the comments because we'll commiserate on how amazingly hard it is. But eventually it gets pretty fun.
I wanted-
I was just going to say, it's, you're driving around at kilometers. I don't even know how that translates, but it's, you get death grip on the wheel, and everyone else in the car is looking around and saying, oh, look at that, and you can glance away for a millisecond, and then you're back on the road.
I will commiserate with you because I had the experience of doing that with a stick in the back roads of Jamaica.
I imagine they're not as smooth as most roads.
No. Mainly one-lane roads.
Oh, yeah, well, Ireland has a fair share of those, too. I went to, we started out on a highway, and then it turned into not a highway, like a regular road. And then we kept going, and it turned into one of those roads that have like 2 strips of asphalt, 1 lane. And I'm like, how long can I go on this before I meet somebody? Luckily, I didn't.
Our feature games have been kind of interesting. They've been trading takeouts in the front of the house here with one nice double from the Mansell rink a few shots back.
Ben Clark, wrong side of the road, wrong side of the car, tiny roads, using the wrong hands to drive, terrifying. Yes, that sums it up. But I would highly recommend it to anybody that wants to do it.
Clark is really digging in here.
So, Mansell's sitting high in the house with 2. Looking to put another one in. Nice delivery there. Going to go deeper than maybe they wanted.
I think they're still going to be sitting 3. But the stone just keeps carrying.
Making Justin think a little bit.
Maybe looking at the 2 in the front of the house. If it runs a little straight, they might be able to get the double in the back of the house. Gets the 1 stone and rolls off.
Yeah.
You mentioned the arena curling in California earlier. It's just 25 years ago we would not have had a California team in any event. The sport has been growing nationwide. It's fabulous.
I think there's a lot more growth to happen. But you're exactly right. I mean, you look at California now. Hollywood, I hope they rebound and pop up somewhere else. San Francisco now has dedicated ice.
Bay City, we have a team for Bay City.
There's 2 women's teams, and I don't know if the men have one. I don't think the men are in. No. But two San Fran women's teams.
A few years ago in a little family trip, stopped into the Bay City Curly Center when they were curling on arena ice in downtown Oakland. They had an empty sheet. Stepped out and threw a couple stones. They were more than happy to let me walk on the ice.
That's what I love about you, Chuck. You just travel and then show up at a club and curl, which is cool. I believe you also did that in Seattle.
I did.
I'm glad I recommended it.
And I'm still married.
Yep. I was going to say, Diana, not so much.
I texted Steve from the top of the Space Needle in Seattle while we were having a meal, and he recommended that we go to the curling club. So I took my wife. Beautiful facility.
Yeah, I haven't. I was out in Seattle, and I was going to meet up with Doug Potter, and I didn't get a chance to do so. So I didn't get a chance to see the Seattle Granite Club, but what a history they have with curling out there in the Pacific Northwest. We have Team Shoesmith from Granite, so I see the Shoesmiths showing up in our chat, so welcome. And then Team Kano. Hope I pronounced that right. On the women's side from Granite.
Super friendly people out there.
That's good. I mean, they're curlers, right? There's no better people in the world than curlers. So, Skip Stones, fourth end. Mansell up 2-0 over McBride. McBride retaining the hammer after blanking the third end. So sitting 1-2 now, Mansell is.
Looks going to try to hit and have a long roll at least over on top of the other Yellowstone.
Yeah, I mean that looks doable to me. Get the right, you got to get some weight on it.
If you can just get over there and be first come up behind the McBride stones, or behind his own stones.
All right, he's on it hard. And he rolls out.
You viewers are going to be able to judge line as well as we are from our vantage point.
Which is not at all.
I think he's choosing to split the house and
Well,
potentially give up the one.
We have a big update on sheet C. So Rickers versus Shoesmith. Shoesmith has now, fourth end they scored 3. So they are now up 4-1 over Rickers. Shoesmith 4, Rickers 1 after 4. So they're on their fourth end break. Pretty happy with that score, I believe. And another update on sheet B, Legacy versus Johnson. Legacy scored 1 in the fourth to add to their total 4-1. Legacy over Johnson. Looks like sheet 8 is done too.
There's still Yellowstone in the house.
Well, where'd their 4 go?
That is true.
We're not sure what's happening on A. We'll get back to that. Those are the latest updates. Here's the hammer for Justin McBride. He's needing to make a draw shot.
I think he has to get full 8 or touch 8.
They're going a little harder.
I don't believe he's heavy.
But I think he's going to be light.
It might be a steal of 2.
Yes, that's unfortunate. That's a steal of 2 for Mansell. So on our sheet, Mansell steals 2 in the fourth, and they go up 4-0 over Justin McBride and the Hollywood Curling Club.
Throughout the event at this point, we have a fourth end break. We're hoping to give you some interviews with local celebrities and nationwide celebrities. I talked to Matt Toombs, who is on the United States wheelchair team, throws the lead, our 4th stones.
So an update on sheet F, heading in the fourth end break.
Cucciarelli got 2 back, I believe.
Yeah, Tate 4, Cucciarelli 2. Cucciarelli got their 2 in the fourth, so they have Tate, and they're only down 2.
Looks like Ward is sitting 2 on sheet A.
I was going to say the
last shot. Oh, looks like he's drawing in.
The only one left in play. That must have been the hammer. So whatever's happening.
He may be drawing in for 3.
And he did. So Ward scores 3 in the fourth to go up 4-1 over Far Below. So that was a big end. Big end for Ward. Ward is Team Wisconsin out of Eau Claire. And Far Below is from Minnesota, from the St. Paul Curling Club. So a border battle there on sheet A, huh? Huh, Chuck?
Yeah, probably an hour and a half between those 2 clubs.
Right. Very close. Oh, we're there we are.
I'm just going to check and see if Curling Zone has been doing updates. Does not look like they're doing updates.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten a response from Dean, so I don't know. I don't know who's doing our updates for Curling Zone. If not, we could probably do that too, and we can multitask if we need to, right? I think I still have the password.
I do not have a Curling Zone password to update.
So sheet C is the first one to throw rocks after the fourth end.
Got a little view of the Wausau curling facility. We're in our 11th season here now. Moved out of a older 5-sheet club.
Curling barn, you mean?
Curling barn.
At the fairgrounds, like a lot of Wisconsin clubs?
Prior to moving this facility, we were not allowed to do national events because we squeezed 5 sheets into a small a small rink.
Sue Cassidy likes your shirt. Weekend forecast, 100% chance of curling. Yes, definitely, Sue. Good eye. Sue is a fashionista. She knows it when she sees it instantly.
So yeah, at the old curling barn, we're not allowed to do national events because the sport was popular. We needed another sheet. We squeezed it in, and the USCA did not want us to hold events
We're back on
standard clubs.
Are you talking about, so in 1977 we hosted a men's nationals?
I believe that was done on the arena.
Yes, you're exactly right. Yeah, you're right. So that wasn't our club.
Well, it was our club that hosted. It just was not on the
and
club
so
ice.
A little trivia: Bruce Roberts' rink out of Superior won that and went on that year to win Worlds. He beat Bud Somerville.
He beats Bud Somerville at nationals to go to Worlds.
Yeah.
I did not know we had another Worlds victory except for Bud Somerville.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Superior club has, between Somerville and Roberts, I think they have, what, 4? Maybe somebody can correct me, fact check me. Maybe 3. Well, world championships, maybe 3. I don't remember how many Bud had.
In 2000,
I think he had 2.
I think Bud had 2. 2001, this facility hosted the men's and women's national.
And mixed. That was the COVID.
And mixed doubled.
Yeah, I was here for 3 weeks straight in the COVID bubble. So I got to hang out with the ice techs in the bleacher area, and the athletes got to hang out in the fancy club room, and we were separated by a curtain. I was in the red zone. They were in the green zone. And, yes, we held men's and women's nationals and mixed doubles nationals in the bubble. That was our COVID bubble. Phil Shyrock, how are you doing, Phil? Speaking of forecast, is that a tornado on the Illinois shirts?
What color? What sheet?
They're on.
Windy City, is it? For
Yeah, Windy City is on sheet
C.
Must be close by to what we're watching.
Yeah. They're throwing the red stones. So they're sweeping the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does look like a tornado. We'll see when they stand up.
Wind, tornado. I think it's, yeah, that's definitely looking like a tornado now that I look at it. Maybe it's a cyclone. Water spout?
It does have a good funnel effect to it.
Now, if they had the, what I would call the Sears Tower next to that.
You can have it be whatever you want it to be.
I like the Sears Tower. Whatever they call it now, I don't like.
It was Willis, but I don't believe it's Willis even anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's on name number 3. Okay, so the McBride rink has a guard out front. Mansell looks like they're in the 8-foot. And may have a target on them.
So Jan missed the fashion statement that Chuck's wearing. So Jan, Chuck's shirt says, there's a curling rack right in the center, and then on the top it says weekend forecast, and below the rack it says 100% chance of curling. Isn't that the fact?
Tomorrow we'll have something more festive.
Oh, yes, green.
Friday.
You're going to wear fish?
Fry.
That'll be interesting.
All right, so it looks like they drew instead.
Yeah, so Justin's facing a similar situation here with 2 yellow Mansell stones in the house, split. We want to see Justin get on some offense here. Again, you retain the hammer. Removes one.
I can't tell, but it doesn't look like he's under the guard.
Jan's out in the Capital Curling Club.
Bismarck.
I'm trying to think of is Roger Smith? Is that his club? You know, Roger, is he out there?
McBride seems to be ignoring the Mansell stone and drawing behind his own.
Well, yeah, deep, way deep.
Yeah, we do have the keen eyes. Looked like it would have over-curled too. So he's going to try to peel the guard and maybe end up in front of his stone.
Yeah, he's looking for a big roll. But who's throwing right now? The
Yellowstone, Mansell rink.
yeah, but
I think
second?
it's Johnston. Aaron Johnston, I believe.
Oh,
was
third.
second.
He didn't seem to like that call.
I think it's fine. They're happy to keep things open. If they can steal one, great. If they give up one, they will not go home crying. Left their stone as a guard out front for the McBride rink to use.
I don't think Elliott liked that at all. So Phil loves our video system, but thanks, Phil. It's Wausau Area Access Media, so like our local public access channel. We've worked with them high school championships that we host the Wisconsin State High School Championships, and you know, we're looking at putting in streaming across all of our sheets, but we couldn't get it installed and granted in time. So we called upon Wausau Area Access Media again, and they set us up so that we can at least provide one stream per draw. And we're happy for the sponsorship of the Ron and Jan Clemish Foundation for that, or charitable fund for that.
And a good stream, not just a fixed camera on each end showing the houses.
Yeah, catch that stone before it hits the hack.
Opens up the red stone on the 4-foot, but looks like he's going to draw in behind.
So Nate puts up his last rock as vice. And well, looks like
Sitting 1-2. I'm not sure if the double's there where
yeah,
the guard is.
they look pretty lined up.
The high stone seems to be the one on the 8-foot, but maybe behind the guard.
A lot of cheering, and that's for action on sheet F, the hometown team versus Coyotes.
All I saw is stones leaving the house after the Cucciarelli rink.
Yeah,
So
there's nothing in the house
it's
right
an open
now.
house. I saw 2 to 3 stones leaving, and that's all I saw.
So he changed it to the other rock, which is higher in the house. And
Oh, he touched both stones.
touched them both. Looks like Reds count. So a little opportunity
If this is
for
skip stone.
Justin. Problem is where he wants to roll would be a jam.
It must be his first. Nose hit would leave the double.
Yeah. Doubles there.
Maybe he can hold the shooter.
That's the tough part. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to hold the shooter. A little off center.
Yes.
So Mansell's last shot.
And he makes the double and holds the shooter.
So now he's looking at a force.
Yeah, it looks like a tough double to roll out on. Sometimes you just got to get on the board and start scoring some points. And the McBride rink is on the board. So after 5, it's 4-1. Mansell leading. And we'll have the hammer in the 6th. Update on sheet B. The Glassy rink scored another one, and they now lead 5-1 over the Johnson rink from Fairbanks. The 5th end was blanked in the Cucciarelli-Tate game.
So that score is still 4-2. Tate leading Cucciarelli. And then on sheet C action, Ritkers versus Shoesmith. Ritkers scored 1 in the 5th to up their score to 2. Still down 4-2 to Shoesmith.
McBride has put a stone on the top of the 12-foot. Does not look like there's any guards in play in this end. And the stone is successfully removed and rolled out. So the sheet of ice looks fairly blank in our feature game. McBride rink now has a guard near the center line, about halfway between the house and the hog. We'll see if Mansell chooses to take that out or draw behind it. Broom looks like they might be choosing to draw behind. They do have the hammer this end. Looks a little heavy maybe. But remains biting on the back of the 12-foot. Looks like McBride is also going to try to draw behind his guard that they threw up the last stone.
Did we do a sheet A update?
They were still playing on sheet A moment ago. But now they have turned the corner and started throwing stones towards home.
Yeah. Far below scored another 1. So down 4-2 now over Ward. Turner.
They are just finishing the 5th end. They're kicking the stones away. A lot of stones in the house in that end.
Yeah, it looks like one of our league games.
2 points for Drews.
So they extended their lead. They're now up 6-1. So Drew's 6, Turner 1.
Okay. I think that updates all the fifth end scores. If we missed something, I'm sure you guys will let us know.
Greg Johnson says, hey, Chuck, Steve, you guys, or actually, Steve's doing a great job. No, I'm kidding.
Appreciate that.
Says you guys are doing a great job. Thanks. It's our first time doing this.
I've done commentary from the couch and from the bleachers.
You never miss your shot behind the glass.
You always have the correct call. And you're never heavy, never light, never wide, and generally throw the right color.
That's very important.
Looks like the Mansell rink might be peeling a guard. And just went past.
So as host club, we do get 2 berths, one in the men's, one in the women's. And we'll stream the Cucciarelli rink, I think, on Saturday morning. But we had a play down opportunity for both the men and the women, and nobody wanted to play down against the team that is out there right now. Pretty much a Wausau Curling All-Stars, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
And then on the women's side, there was a play down. I think it was 2 teams, and we can talk more about that when we stream them.
Looks like McBride drew just in front of the house.
The reason I talked about that is because I found myself watching them as I was standing up taking a stretch. Yeah, I mean, 6th end's moving along. After this shot, there's one more vice and then the skip stones. So Justin's really looking to make something happen here. Without hammer, obviously.
Some people ask why does the host team get a bye or a team in? It kind of creates a local buzz. If you look out in the crowd right now, the majority are sitting.
We have full stands. I mean,
stands.
I'm sure there's some athletes watching, but
the Cucciarelli rink does seem to be drawing some attention from local. Mansell's has a lone biter in the back of the 12-foot.
Ooh, fall. He's okay. So there's a peel off the guard, down to Skip's rocks. Nothing yet.
I've got technician extraordinaire, high school coach extraordinaire, Bonspiel organizer for the TG extraordinaire, Jim Wendling, on potentially getting updates to Curling Zone.
Well, if you nice. Speaking of Jim Wendling, I mean, he's a co-host, co-chair of this event with Kim Susans. And you guys can't see this, but the timers are all sitting at very nice new wooden desks that Jim made.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, he did.
You may be able to see that on the sheets coming home
True, through the window.
through the
Yeah.
glass. The lights are on over the stadium seating, so you can see into the crowd on those shots.
The man is a workhorse. He lives on Mountain Dew. He's also a math teacher on top of that.
I think from October through now he spends 90% of his time in a curling club. He has 2 kids are competitive curlers, a son and a daughter. So when he's not here, he's there.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
I know he'll be out in Boston. Is that next week for the Junior Nationals? It's April, so it may be. Yeah, it's in April, so it's a few weeks off, I believe. Broomstones, I believe, is hosting.
Yep.
I believe they hosted 2013.
Is that when Ben was out there? Was Ben out there then?
Ben did not go. The local Stubby rink.
Oh,
went that
Jeremy.
year.
Okay. Chuck created a curling family. All of his children curled, which is one of the great things about our sport too.
Little hit and roll, maybe behind cover. Long guard, though, so I think the McBride rink thinks he can still get to it. Although they're going to come down and take a look at it again. With 3 ends of play, a steal would be nice, but it's kind of hard to steal your way out of the game. It's been done.
It has been done. Can be done. It's curling. But you need one of those games with a lot of rocks in play. That tends to help a lot more. Here it comes. They're switching back and forth. Where does he want this rock? That's a freeze.
Maybe a down 2. Nicely executed.
That's a beautiful freeze.
Still second count, but that
little
is
tap.
Little tap, and they can be sitting very nicely. Team of California is getting a little break. We have a little warm spell here in central Wisconsin. It's actually raining here today. Temperatures, I believe, are in the 40s.
They are.
Earlier this week on my way to work, I had -5 on my thermometer. So a little swing in temperature in the last 2 or 3 days.
Well, you know what they say about Wisconsin weather, Chuck.
They say that everywhere.
What? Yeah, but not everywhere has what we have.
We do have 4 seasons.
For instance, tomorrow it is supposed to snow. Back to snow.
Outside the club, we probably have 12 inches of snow on the ground in the level.
I don't know. We had a lot of snow in March. There were record numbers popping up across the state in March snowfall. We just had 10 the other day, so we have to have more than 12.
The rain's knocking it down.
Well, the rain is knocking it down, yeah.
And we had nice sun yesterday that compacted it a bit. All right, we're drawing into the house. I'm not sure where they're bringing this stone to. Looks like going to sit 1-2. Oh, that was a hammer for 2.
Yeah, that was the hammer for 2.
So they converted on their hammer, and they're going to be up by 5 now again.
So now in hindsight,
Yeah, 6-1. Well, there's only so many ends left, and you got to start generating, taking chances. Get that.
so was Justin trying an even harder shot, a corner freeze to count one?
I believe that was what his goal was.
Yeah.
Just overcurled a bit on him. So as you can see, after 6, it's 6-1. Update on sheet F. I believe the Cucciarelli. I thought Cucciarelli's rink rolled in behind for 1, but it looks like Tate has been awarded a point on the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
And lead 5-2.
Now, don't put it past the officials have made mistakes. So if that's what you saw, maybe they'll correct that, but we'll see.
After the run back, there may have been a nice, or after the hit and roll, there may have been a run back, and where Tate may have picked up their 1 that we missed.
Sheet C, Shoesmith versus Ritkers. Shoesmith added 1 and is now up 5-2 over Ritkers.
On sheet B, Johnson scored 1, but still trail 5-2 after 6. And I've given up the hammer in the 7th. The Ward Farborough rink is still in the 6th end.
Looks like they just threw the hammer.
If that's a hammer. No, it looks like red is sitting 1 and they have the hammer coming.
Oh, sure. My mistake.
So that is the Ward rink. I think they, oh boy, can they knock that Yellowstone out and score 5? I think they would lose the back one. Sorry for you, those at home. We're watching a different sheet.
Yeah, so our sheet, Mansell now sits 2 in the house. Close together.
Potential large end for the Ward rink out of Eau Claire.
Justin's going to ignore that, put up his guard.
He did take the Yellowstone out, but at the same time he also took out 2 reds and lost the shooter, but he did remain for 3. So it's not a bad end for the Ward rink.
Justin now sits with 2 high
And we have handshakes
corner guards. And where?
on sheet A.
Okay.
So the Ward rink has defeated the Faribault rink, the number 1 seed
Yes, sir.
from St. Paul.
So Eau Claire beats St. Paul.
My daughter watching in Eau Claire is probably happy to hear that.
I was just talking, actually I'm working with Jeff Goodland over from Eau Claire. I don't know if he's watching, he probably isn't, but that would be somebody else who'd be happy about that. Actually working with Jeff Goodland, Terry Gleason, Paul Schaefer from our club. There's an interest in getting another curling club in the state of Wisconsin. This coming in Rhinelander, which would be a great place for a club.
Where are they in that process, Steve? Do you have any inside information?
Well, we were close to hosting a Learn to Curl for selected people. kind of the nucleus of the club. But we got snowed out. So now they're looking to host a Learn to Curl up in Rhinelander at the hockey center. I think that's going to be in May or the end of April. And then from there, we'll work on getting membership. Jeff has a vacation place up there, and he knows a lot of businesses, and he's working hard and aggressive on getting some grant money for equipment. See how fast we can get them up and going.
That would be awesome. Wisconsin would add another club.
Definitely.
Was lacrosse probably the last club we've added?
I think that's probably. I think that's the one that I remember.
They were in the arena for a few years, but I believe they have dedicated ice now too.
And they did have a club years ago, a dedicated club years ago. But like a lot of clubs, the membership kind of fell away. And they lost that. But then they resurrected themselves.
Oh, just got the high sign from the Eau Claire rink as they came off the ice. They seem pretty happy. A few stones in the house this end. Not sure if McBride has anything generating here. Phil, I do like your comment. There's a lot of events that the USCA puts on, and kind of run out of clubs of who to host them. So any incentive to get clubs to host, it's great.
Even hosting, multiple years for the same event is on the table. I always thought it was a great idea to give a club, the same event for multiple years, 2 or even 3. Just because the first year, they're gonna assemble everything, and it's all gonna be kind of new to them if they haven't hosted, and year 2 rolls around and they work like clockwork and can only be more successful. I think that's one of the things that holds a club back is just that, call it fear, I guess, of if you haven't ever hosted a national event, just what it looks like.
Looks like Lagasse picked up 3 on sheet B in the 7th, and they've gone up 8-1, I believe.
Correct. No, maybe 2.
Yes, they may have scored 1 in the 6th. Official Ryan Mahalis is blocking your view of the scoreboard.
God darn him.
What do you expect from a Canadian? Ryan's an implant from the Thunder Bay area.
Yeah, it is 8-2 red.
And they are not throwing the stones back, so I think we have our second final of the draw.
All right, so Mansell's got a pile in the 4-foot. And McBride is wondering what he can do.
He needs to do something, or we may see handshakes here too.
So they discussed it. And Nate will slide down for his first throw.
Nate does not.
Yeah, that's true.
Looks like they're playing in front. Maybe change the angles a little bit. Little shot of the wood rack that Jim Wendling made there that you were speaking of earlier, Steve.
If you notice, they're not painted, though. He didn't paint them. And I say that jokingly because we were joking about it last night. He felt bad that he didn't have time to paint them.
I'm sure you didn't sleep all night because
Like,
you gave him a hard
Jim,
time.
You did enough. You did plenty.
Another discussion. Does not look like a takeout broom. I believe this is Nate's first stone now. We're maybe one stone ahead on this end.
Yeah, that's what threw me off. Chipped on the top red, got a little spin back, but not what they wanted.
Looks like they're just going to remove that stone that was thrown and stick right there and sit 3.
Oh, legacy. My apologies. Shoesmith. They got a couple people in the way. 5-2, Shoesmith over Ritkers, I believe is what we have. Yes.
And they successfully remove the red stone. Let's hit 3. I think Nate's going to have to throw something a little more this time. We will see. Looks like the Cucciarelli rink just picked up another deuce on sheet F. And we'll just trail that game by 1 coming home without Hammer then.
Here comes Nate's last shot.
Just tap back weight.
Yeah, easily picked out of there.
Easy for you to say. As a club curler.
One behind the glass, Chuck. You can see time is no issue here.
And another view of the timekeeper's bench there. And the coaches are on the ice here too, it looks like.
Yep. Yeah, if they brought a coach, they're sitting out there in the...
Or the alternate. Are they allowed to have the coach and the alternate out there? I probably would assume.
that I don't know.
It looks like the
Yeah, I
McBride, or the
he's sitting there.
Mansell rink as the coach and alternate. They seem pretty comfortable sweeping on and off. Possible 3 there.
Yeah, it looks like it. But
you'd have to hit it on the outside of the top stone. Probably would lose your top red stone. But at this point, you're going to have to move some yellow stones if you're going to have a chance in the game.
I concur. Reminder that we've got one more stream tonight at 9.
Who's our feature game, Steve?
The featured game is the Kraus rink out of Minnesota Duluth versus the Swiss Helm rink out of Detroit in the Great Lakes Curling Association. Another heavy hitter matchup. Ann was just out in Seattle for senior nationals, and I believe her rink came in second.
Anna's a senior?
Yes. According to the rules.
Sorry, Ann, for making that public to everyone.
Well, I don't think we gave any ages out.
I felt she was a number of years my junior. Well, in the first McBride stone, things did not change very much, and it looks like they're going to throw up a guard, make things very difficult for the McBride rink.
I have to fact check myself. I wonder if I got that wrong. Because Ann's pretty good. Margie Smith's team? Who won?
There are plenty of seniors that are very good. Not sure exactly where the line is where they need or want this stone, but I think that's going to muck things up a bit for the McBride rink yet. Looks like they're setting up for a draw 1. Have to catch a bit of the button. Also, if you look at the emblems on the ice, we're blessed in the fall to have the Scots come through on their tour that they do every 10 years through the United States. That was the Lady Scots.
That was fun. That was if you ever have if your club ever has an opportunity to host the Scots on their tour, definitely do all you can to get it and take advantage of it, because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it is just a fabulous day or two of camaraderie, curling spirit.
Gonna roll over, gonna cut them down, but I don't believe. Looks like it's gonna be still at least 2 yellow, and yep, not surprising. We have handshakes at that. That make the final.
You know what?
10 to 3.
I was right, and well, I wasn't right. I was right in my fact checking myself, and won senior nationals with her team, Margie Smith. So they'll go off and play in South Korea, I believe.
So we have a final in our feature game. The Mansell rink out of Denver over the McBride rink out of Hollywood Curling Club in California.
And Melissa and Shannon are both on top of that right away, correcting me.
If we didn't report any other finals, there's only one game still on the ice, and that's the Cucciarelli Tate rink.
And they have about 4 rocks each left.
But I believe after our feature game,
yes, we wrap up after this game from Sheet D at the Wausau Curling Center with the McBride rink falling to the Mansell rink.
We'll be back streaming in about an hour and a half for the first ladies draw at 9 o'clock Central Time.
And we thank all of you stream chatters. Thanks for keeping us occupied as we complete our first stream ever. So thanks. For then, we'll tune out. We'll see you at 9 Central.